G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Bitcoin update. We have just around, let's go ahead and see, one day, just over one day until the weekly candle close here, 1 day and 19 hours until the weekly candle close. And we have discussed many times in the past, and you're probably very much aware of it by now, the important levels on the weekly chart that we need to be taking. For example, the one at 28.6k is extremely important. Now look, if we're being honest here, okay, Bitcoin is probably quite likely to break above that level. We have seen on the daily chart a bit of strength recently, even though yesterday's candle was very bearish. We have seen a bit of strength overall. What we've seen basically is a breakout above the downtrending RSI line here, the RSI resistance that has broken to the upside here, which is great to see. However, on top of that, we're seeing some bearish stuff going on as well. We're seeing some bearish divergence here on the RSI, long-term bearish divergence stemming back from January 16th. So it's not particularly good, and this is the case I've been making recently. I don't think the medium term, short term is particularly good. I think, descending volume there as well, strong uptrend in this period of time here with strong descending volume is generally a sign of pretty intense weakness, and I think that's what we're seeing, weakness on the daily chart, a bit of weakness showing on the 4-hourly chart as well, with a breakout above this channel formation. And this was actually a bearish channel formation. It wasn't a bull flag formation. A bull flag formation needs to be downtrending, and as you can see, this channel was uptrending, and at best it was horizontal, but it wasn't horizontal, it was uptrending. And so we saw a break upwards from that very briefly, a couple, 8-12 hours above that, and that was good, and it was good to see. And during that period of time, I was very bullish on Bitcoin. But unfortunately, we ran into some strong resistance, which is, if we're going back to basically over here in June 2022, we can see the top level here, this kind of lower to mid 31k region is a strong resistance level. And we did actually run into some pretty strong resistance from that region and rejected quite harshly. And, it was a very strong rejection actually. You can see a very strong bearish engulfing candle come through there, and it's dropped us right back down to that low to mid 30,000 region there. So we rejected down, we dropped back down below the channel formation, and you can see now, if we wanted to be, if we wanted to stretch our imaginations here, we could actually say that this is some sort of stronger ascending channel formation, and that will break to the downside much harsher than the one we previously drew. That's probably what I'd lean towards at this point in time, especially considering the bearish divergence here in the short term. But, the good news is we don't really need to be seeing the short term strong here. All we need to be seeing, it doesn't really matter what short term is, all we need to be seeing really is a weekly candle close, okay, above 28.6k, above that red line here on the weekly chart. If we see that, we're in a great position for Bitcoin. That is the level that kind of maintained Bitcoin up, or held Bitcoin upwards throughout the entirety of the bull market. And so provided we get above that again, we're back in bull market territory. You can basically, and that doesn't mean we're in a bull market, we're just in the bull market range from previous years here. You can actually simplify this chart very easily. What you can do is you can go ahead and draw two rectangles. You can draw one rectangle up here, okay, and that is the bull market rectangle. And you can draw one rectangle over here, and that is the bear market rectangle, okay? You can see quite clearly what I'm doing here. We're breaking back into the bull market rectangle, okay? So again, it doesn't matter what the fuck's going on with the daily chart or the 4-hourly chart, channel. If we're breaking back above such a major level, that's obviously more bullish and more important than the short term. But that doesn't change the fact that the short term's not looking good. And realistically, though, all we need from a short term, okay, when is the weekly candle close? It's in 1 day and 19 hours. 1 day and 19 hours from now, let's go ahead and measure that out. And I'll show you exactly what I'm doing here in a second. So 1 day and 19 hours is around there. All we need Bitcoin to do is to maintain above this pink line until the end of this measurement. That's all we needed to do. Doesn't matter if it drops down. Doesn't matter if it comes down to the pink line. All we need to do is to maintain above that pink line until that measurement. And that looks pretty likely to me. It's not much time, 1 day and 19 hours to drop down that far. I think Bitcoin will probably get the close over 28.6k. On the occurrence that it doesn't, it's not really the end of the world, because we can come back and attempt it again later, so long as we maintain above a level such as the green line here at 25.2k, which is the top of the range we were seeing from June 2022 to over here in February 2023. So long as we maintain above that, we're in a good position. But 28.6k close, getting above that would be ideal. And I've repeated this rhetoric many times. I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record, but it really is the most important thing going on in the market right now. That's exactly what I said in the video a day and a half ago. I said I'd repeat myself until it gets done, because it's extremely important. It's crucial, in fact. So basically, that's what we're looking at. And I wanted to look at the monthly chart as well, because you know, 28.6K on the weekly chart is very important, but another level that's very important here is 27.9K on the monthly chart. That's basically an equally important level. And the reason I say that and where I'm getting this level from is the blue line here on the screen. It's the 21 EMA in the monthly chart. As you can see, the 21 EMA in the monthly chart has been basically crucial for Bitcoin's long-term price history. Every time we've dropped below this level, we've entered strong bear market. Every time we've been above it, we've entered strong bull market, okay? You can just look at the screen here and look at what happens when we drop below, look what happens when we get above. With the exception of COVID, it's been exponentially important, right? Massively important. So that is another critical level that we need to be watching. And so if we fail to get above 28.6K for some reason, okay, so long as we close above 27.9 in 15 days in the monthly candle, we'll probably get above 28.6K already, because we'll take that monthly level that has proven to be massively important and massively reliable. So that's kind of our backup line. If we fail to get above 28.6K in the weekly, so long as we get above 27.9K in the monthly, we're looking good regardless. But the monthly chart is in a great position as well. You know, look, if we close above 27.9 at the end of this month in April, which, by the way, April is the most bullish month, one of the most bullish months in Bitcoin's price history. We can show you right now. But yeah, so long as we get above that, we're in a really good position here. But if we look at the monthly returns on Bitcoin, we'll just go ahead and bring it up here. I should have probably had this prepared before the video, but ultimately we'll look at the monthly returns. We'll bring up the monthly chart. We can see that every single April, basically, with the exception of one April and 3 neutral Aprils with less than 3% losses, has been exponentially bullish. It's been 50% gain, 7% gain, 30%, 30%, 30%, 30%, and we're on 6% right now. And considering what's happened on the monthly chart with the monthly chart bullish cross, if you look down to the bottom of the screen here, you can see the yellow line in the RSI, the 14 moving average, has crossed bullish with the RSI. In general here in February 2023, we've seen a very strong bullish cross there. We've seen the start of that bullish phase here. Every single other time we've seen these crosses, we've seen 5,700% gain, we've seen 228% gain, we've seen 550% gain, we've seen another bullish cross, and we can expect a strong monthly chart basically for the rest of the year here. And so, you know, we can expect to see a close above 27.9K, and if we do see that, we're perfectly on track. So everything's looking pretty decent other than short term. And I do believe that short term will hold out long enough to assure that the long term looks good. Okay, that's basically my opinion on Bitcoin right now. One thing I want to look at is S&P 500 though, because S&P 500, as you guys know, is well with the whole like recession stuff and everything like that. And the reason I say it like that is because, look, we've been bottomed out for close to 6 months, over 6 months now. So it's hard to be certain that anything's actually going to happen. But under the assumption that things will happen, which, you know, is a fair assumption to make, under that assumption, it would stand to reason that we do it right now. One reason is we're 6 months into an uptrend, and you know, if we're going to go down, we probably should do it ASAP. And the other reason is we're facing strong resistance here. We're facing strong resistance here at what is it, 4,100 roughly. And you know, we do also have a cup formation though. That is important to note. We could see a cup and handle formation. It's not certain what happens here, but if we are going to reject, it's probably going to start around now, in my opinion. And you know, we've got the traditional markets. Sorry, the interest rates to kind of support that, right? What we've seen, and this orange line here is interest rates, and the background is S&P 500. What we've seen is S&P 500 generally only bottoms out when interest rates are decreasing. Interest rates are still rising. They're not going to rise for much longer, but they will start decreasing at the end of the year. And so there is a theory you could make that the S&P will bottom out at the end of this year, possibly start of next year or middle of next year. Okay, so if we're going to start correcting, it better start happening soon. I don't have strong opinions on the S&P. I don't necessarily care what happens to the S&P. I know quite well that Bitcoin is in safe hands regardless. It's independent from traditional markets at this point in time. The correlation coefficient has dropped to 0.3%. 0.3% is the minimum correlation coefficient mathematically to consider something correlated. So Bitcoin is barely correlated to the S&P 500 right now. And guess what? It's barely correlated to the NASDAQ as well. So Bitcoin's acting extremely independently. And, you know, I don't think this chart's particularly bearish. Even, you know, we've seen, yeah, a triple top formation, but we've also seen a W formation. So who's to say it's actually bearish? Who's to say that's not just a W formation? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But if we are going to reject this, is probably a point of interest. Total cryptocurrency market cap's looking good as well. And this kind of adds to the argument I was making before that long-term looks good. It's just for short-term, it kind of looks bad. DXY looks good as well. And the reason why I'm saying it looks good, even though it's going down, is because DXY going down is good for Bitcoin. DXY is reverse correlated to Bitcoin. And when this thing goes down, Bitcoin goes up. And as you know, US dollar's not exactly looking particularly strong right now, with multiple countries moving away from it. So it stands to reason that the DXY will actually go down in a macro scale, and hence it stands to reason that Bitcoin will go up in a macro scale. So again, I'll say one more time before I end the video, because I've said it like 6 times already. Macro is looking great. It's the short term that looks bad. And so long as we hold on for long enough, right, the macro will look even better with a weekly candle close above 28.6K. That's all I need to say in this video. Again, I sound like a bit of a broken record today, but it really is the most important thing going on. Without further ado, I'll end it there, guys. Check out the BitGet exchange. This is an exchange I've personally used for my personal trading for over a year now, and I find it very helpful. It's 5 times lower fees than Binance. It's optional KYC. It's got a protection fund. It's got reserves release. It's got everything you need on an exchange, in my personal opinion. This is what we use on the VIP group. It's what we use as a default exchange on the VIP and on the YouTube channel as well. So 5 times lower fees than Binance, and you can get a 15% fee discount for life if you sign up using my referral link. So go ahead and do that. That will be in the pinned comment or description below. Then we've got the Crypto Academy. If you want to learn how to trade, this is the place you can do it. Crypto Academy 10-unit course. You can check out the website and check out the blurb. Read up all about it. Read up all the unit information, unit topics, etc. What's included in the units, and then you can throw us an email if you have any questions here at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you shortly. We've also got the VIP group, guys. Last thing here, VIP group. We've just had a sale that lasted for 2 weeks there, 25% sale, and we're kind of moving through back to regular prices here. It's 100 USD for 3 months. Altcoin signals 3 to 5 times a week. They've been extremely profitable in the past. If you want to see our past results, you can do so, and there will be a link in the description for you to do that. So guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.